Hello and welcome back to the Taylor Seminars where we talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry. My name is Hannah and I'm here with my beautiful co-host Exquisite. Hello.
Hello, Hannah.
Are you having a good day?
I am actually. I slept. The Saints play football today, which is gonna make it a not good day. Depending on when we post this, the VMAs are tonight.
Yes.
If we post this like immediately after we record it, people who are listening, if you're listening on Sunday, September 7th, you can come join me over on Shalant to talk. That's where I'm going to be posting about the VMAs tonight instead of on my Twitter page.
Oh yeah, Shalant is a new social media platform that is specifically for fans and
Yep.
fandoms.
Hmm.
You don't have to have people who are not in your fandom start commenting on all your stuff. It's like
Exactly.
nonchalant. You just remove the NON, so it's CHALANT. You make an account. It's very similar to the Twitter
Yep.
layout. And Exquisite, what's your handle on there?
Literally, it's just exquisite. So you can find me on there pretty easy, but if you join like the VMAs fandom, you're gonna find me immediately.
Boom.
Um,
Eh,
it's pretty fun, and one of the fun things about it is you don't necessarily have followers. You join fandoms, and you'll see the people who are always in there.
Yeah,
So
that's fun.
small, it's growing, it's
Yeah,
delightful.
I'm like I pop in and out of it as well. I'm waiting for them to make an app. So when they make an
Yep, the
app,
app will come this fall, so it's
ooh,
coming soon.
okay.
And once that app gets off, I think it's really going to take off. So it's like, I think it's crucial everyone join now because
The
it's
more,
about to
yeah,
get
the
really
more people you
exciting for
have, the
you.
more better, the
Yeah,
faster it'll get better. It's kind of like
yeah,
it's like any social media. But in any
exactly.
case, we
Anyway,
are back to talking about how Taylor Swift views marriage through kind of the second half of her discography. We spoke last time about Taylor Swift self-titled all the way to Lover, and then we realized we'd been yapping for over an hour. So we
yeah.
said this is a good break. We will go from folklore ever. We'll go through folklore, evermore, midnights. We have then TTPD, which is kind of like a double album.
Yep.
Did I miss one?
Folklore, Evermore, Midnight's, Torture Post
Yeah.
Department. Nope, it's just
All
those
right.
four.
And then I guess if we wanted to, there might be some things like from the vault track she released. I think we kind of touched on those, or maybe we didn't. But anyways, you know us. We are going to make musical references all over her discography. So let's start then with folklore. So this one was written during the pandemic. Well, let's back up. She was getting ready to promote Loverfest and to continue pushing that album when the world shut down. I think, and yeah, I know, Exquisite, you had tickets to Loverfest, didn't you?
I didn't have tickets to Loverfest, but what happened was March Madness that year, Taylor was performing in Atlanta at for March Madness.
To the
And it was gonna be
basketball, yeah.
Taylor and Halsey and also Taylor Parks. And what it was is if you signed up, you could get free tickets. So I had free tickets to see
Ah,
Taylor Swift and Halsey perform in Atlanta. And it was my birthday gift for myself. It was supposed to be April 8th. And I bought my plane ticket and I was like, oh my gosh, when the COVID thing started popping up, I was like, please, please, please. And then it got canceled.
yeah,
That was going to
yeah.
be my first time seeing Taylor too.
Oh man, yeah. That was a rough time for everybody. And then we had that cryptic, not a lot going on around here,
Hmm.
Instagram post, and uh, one day in July she was like, "Surprise! I'm releasing this random album this Friday," and the world was never the same.
Literally, what a woman.
Yeah,
Why would she do that?
yeah. It's not even a year after Lover was dropped. She dropped Folklore, inspired a lot by her collaboration with Aaron Dessner, who we love dearly.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, this one she went into more of the auto fiction, which Exquisite has talked about before, where it's
Yes.
fiction but it's autobiographical. It's very much
Yeah.
based in her life.
And one of the things about autofiction, because Taylor was like, she was exploring storytelling, but one of the things that allows you to do that well, and again, we've like harped on this a lot on this podcast, but I feel like this is a very particular time when we could talk about it when we're talking about marriage in the Taylor Swift universe. Um, it allows you this distance where you can approach things and it feels safe. It feels safe to work out maybe any issues you have or things that you have come across in like a fictional like playground. It makes it like, oh, it's like very open. There's less pressure because you're like, this is not about me. And since it's not about me, I can work on if I'm feeling resentment about this person, or if I am hurt, or if I'm feeling a really like affectionate love and I just don't know how to say it, let me transfer it onto this character. And that's why fiction is just a really fun playground just to write in. Like, for those of you listening, journal exercise. If you want to journal, we don't give homework out here a lot, but maybe write out, like, if you are feeling like, if you have a lot of like high emotions are really high. Go ahead and write out a story. It doesn't need to be good. It just needs to be just word vomit into your notebook or into your Google Docs or your notes app about something from a fictional point of view. Like, rename a character, even if you need to change like your first, like the first letter of the name. If Hannah was doing this and she wanted to be like Susanna as a thing, it's like, sure, do that. And it would be, I don't know, you'll see what I mean, where you're like, oh, this feels safer to approach. So as we enter into folklore, it's like, okay, she was doing a lot of things from a um outsider looking in. She was taking a wide lens,
Yeah.
and by doing that, it actually gave us a closer lens than we would have maybe gotten before.
Yeah. And as we did for some of the other albums, we're each gonna pick a song, I guess, that we think has to do with the theme of marriage in her writing. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I think you should go first, Hannah.
Well, I think that the song that's most directly uh, invokes marriage is "My Tears Ricochet." In that it's so I know it's not literally about marriage. "My Tears Ricochet" is about her, excuse me, music record deal with Big Machine Records, specifically Scott Borchetta.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's very interesting that she took a marriage metaphor. So if you don't know, the song is about, well, on the surface level, the song is about a dead woman who's a ghost, basically haunting her former lover who had treated her horribly and but
Mm-hmm.
pretends to love her and to feel agony about her death. And she kind of gets to be like, well, look at the karma and the things that are going to come back to haunt you, including me, like my stolen lullabies. And I think the reason why she chose this obviously is that it was showing the closeness and the partnership that one really expects from marriage. Like, and there's this hope and
Mm-hmm.
this trust that it's going to be forever, right? That it's not going to go down in flames. And yet, and we have all these symbols and things in My Tears Ricochet, like we gather stones, never knowing what they'll mean, some to throw, some to make a diamond ring. At that, there were all these crossroads and choices and different road less traveled that you can look back on and being like, oh, like this rock is on my finger. It's shiny and pretty, but I could have thrown this at you. It could have been a pebble.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and so she has written about like the dissolution of relationships previously, like songs like "Sad," "Beautiful," "Tragic," is and others as well. But I think this one was I think the first really painful like divorce, like specifically divorce ish song. And yeah, so I just thought it was fascinating that it was a very mature retelling, and mature as in like I don't think 15-year-olds sing that much about divorce in this same like depth and venom even
Yeah,
and
it's just
heartache.
because they can't. Like, you just haven't lived long enough. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, yeah, and
So
so yeah, so I wanted to pick the song to be a little bit of a curveball, but I'd love to hear what you picked.
mine is also like not even really a curveball, I don't think. But I'm picking the last great American dynasty
Okay.
because it's not a curveball in the sense that like marriage is very explicitly mentioned in Last Great American
Yes.
Dynasty, with the wedding was charming but a little gauche.
Mm-hmm.
Only so far new money goes. But the reason I picked this is because it's very interesting to see Taylor, and she does what I was talking about with fiction, like even directly in the song when she does. Then it was bought by me. So you can see she's directly identifying with Rebecca Harkness, and including Rebecca Harkness's marriage, where she's like, she moved to be with this man, and everyone around her thought she was this loud and terrible person that eventually kills her husband or is accused of killing her husband. Like, she's the reason his heart gave out. Like, and it's very interesting to see our speaker be like, "Oh, I'm her. I'm like her." So it makes you think, like, does she think she is poisonous to relationships, poisonous people around her, even though she's like, "Oh, it's a wink. I'm having fun. It was bought by me, and I'm the loudest woman this town has ever seen." But there's also like this really interesting like relationship being negotiated between with Rebecca's relationships with those around her, and then how our speaker Taylor is seeing herself in Rebecca. So it's like, oh, is she seeing in that, like, that marriage, like, does she see herself as like a burden that's gonna break somebody's heart to the point where like they pass away because she does so much and she is so big. Um which I think is fun. I don't think that's like an angle I've spent a lot of time looking at the last great American dynasty as before. Like, typically I look at the last great American dynasty and I am like, "Oh yeah, of course Taylor sees herself in this like loud, brash woman." Um
Who's ruining
but
everything.
yeah, but the very first time we intro the song with Rebecca Harkness being a divorcee who gets married again
Mm-hmm.
into a rich family. And I think the divorcee part of it all is interesting, right? Like,
Yeah.
she has been in love and in marriage that has failed.
Yeah.
And then she gets with someone, and she is obvious there's an implied slut shaming in the line, and the town says, "How did the middle class divorcee do it?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, oh, so does Taylor also see herself, or Taylor as the speaker see herself in the divorcee part of it as well?
I think it's fascinating that you and I are both picking up on this like divorce theme.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you think about it, Exile, you could also say, is very divorce coded. There's clearly been some kind of long term relationship between
Yep.
the two speakers where he sings, you never gave me any sign. Like, I thought we were communicating. I thought I trusted you to tell me these things. And she's like, I gave so many signs. This isn't like a 2 week fling, right? Where,
Mhm.
there wouldn't have been any sort of connection. This is a deep connections, right? Like, um, he would have gotten his knuckles bloody for her, right? He wants to at this point, but she's already leaving out the side door, right? Like,
Yep.
this idea of miscommunications leading to some bigger like conflicts. It's brewing, and then finally this breakup, like balancing on breaking branches. And yeah, it's a very popular song for a very good reason, and it
And
ends with
yeah.
them splitting off.
And it's really interesting because in that song, the best part about it is that you can actively tell the two singers are just not talking to each other.
Oh yeah,
Like, there's no communication happening.
yeah. It's not
Like, it was an
miscommunication;
utter
it's no communication.
exactly, an utter breakdown in communication is what had happened.
Yeah,
Um and I think that's really interesting for Taylor to like hone in on with that. Of like, there is there's something not right. There's something not right. Um and then you see it happen again, especially if we want to take that like communication line, um in the idea of like there being no communication, and bring it to illicit affairs where there is like, with the term affair used that with Mary, like, she's not married, but she's intruding on a marriage. The speaker is,
yeah,
right?
yeah. At least,
Intruding
yeah.
upon.
It could
At
could
least,
also be they're both just not. It's like a taboo thing, but yes,
yeah.
it usually affair implies that someone is
Affair
married.
applies taboo, but it implies marriage as well, right? Like, at least someone there is married. They may
Mm-hmm.
both be married.
That's true too.
Someone's married. Um and there's cheating involved, obviously. But the part I want to like circle in on is the "you taught me a secret language, I can't speak with anybody else," because that is the communication aspect. She's like, we knew each other so well, we could talk to each other so well, and when you like basically used me up and tossed me aside, now I can't communicate with anybody else.
Yes.
Like, I think that's the point there. It's like, I don't know how to have a like normal relationship with anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say that, in Lover, album previous to this, we did see lots. Well, let's go back. I think one of the people
Yeah,
who've
we can sit
reached
back.
people who have reached out about this episode have said they love the fact that we, especially you, sort of talked about Reputation being so nervous and wanting to nurture this growing love. Lover was a
Hmm.
lot more forward about the future of this love and leading to the M word, etc.
Hmm.
So it is interesting that the closest thing we get to that, I guess, is Invisible String, right?
Exactly.
Because we have like this one song, like, hey, like, I've moved on. Like, cold was the steel of my axe to grind, but now I send their babies presents, right? Like, hell was the journey, but it brought me heaven. We can come back to like the light pink skies, but purple pink skies, right? Like,
Hmm.
um, but it doesn't seem to have gone forward
Exactly.
from that.
And it's not necessarily like there is a and I'm gonna preface this by saying not that this is a bad thing, but there is a almost settling in the spirit of like I'm not going forward, but I'm not going back, and I want like if someone comes at us this time, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Like that is the lyric, right? So she's like, I will batten down the hatches right here where we're at.
yeah. It's yeah. I want to say like she's found this comfortable place.
Mm-hmm.
Especially again, we don't want to just reinterpret everything just because we can see back in time,
Exactly. We
but
don't like
yeah,
that's not what we want to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
We do want to see, yeah. Like, I think I've talked about this a lot where, um, not a lot. I've tweeted about this where Invisible String, even the way she sings, it's very content, right?
Yeah.
She's not pushed driving the beat forward. She's not belting or doing anything very high energy like Paper Rings, or she's not being sexy like in I Think He Knows. It's very
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like I'm in like this perfect summer, day. It's not too hot. There's, a breeze, and I have my little peach tea. I'm on the porch, and look how pretty everything is around me, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
have like we have this little house, and he's building like the bookshelves inside while I'm, walking around the orchard. It's got that very peaceful, very like the happy cabin vibe versus like
Exactly.
exile, like I'm burning down this cabin vibe.
And it's also like again like and I think that's what a lot of folklore is like settled in that sense. Like
Hmm.
yes, I'm thinking about the past and I'm examining the past and I'm also like dealing with other like there's themes of like communications or like coming to talk or what happens when there's no talking obviously, but it is very like okay, this is settled, I'm settled. um I don't resent being settled um at
Yeah.
this moment
And I
at
do
this
think
moment um
this settled idea plus her being in COVID, I do think you get a little bit of the I have time to think now. Right? Like we
exactly.
all had too much time to think during the pandemic, right? I feel like that's why we have songs like The One, right? Where again, autofiction, like you can think about the past. Cardigan's about thinking about a past love. So is August and Betty.
Yeah.
Um and so she really has that time to kind of look through these again with different lenses and
And yeah,
um yeah,
and it was very safe to write a song like The One. She was very safe to write a
because she
song
was
like The
settled.
One
Yeah.
because he was settled. So it's like it's fine for me to be like, it would have been fun if you would have been the one, but I'm not mad at you
Yeah.
and I'm not mad at
And I don't
me.
want it.
Exactly. I don't want you and I don't need it. I don't need it. But it would have been nice. Like it's okay to say that. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with looking back on the past as long as you don't get stuck in the past. And I think
Oh,
that's
that
something that
album's
Taylor
coming. Don't
herself
worry.
was learning. Taylor herself was she was in the process of learning this
Yes.
and then she like learned it even more. And I think the last song we should probably talk about is the song that Taylor has is like her preferred ending, even though whatever. The Lakes. I feel like we should kind of talk about the lakes, even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
I don't think marriage is specifically said. But there is the do you remember how in Reputation she's like, you don't need to save me, but would you run away with me?
Yes.
Exactly. The lakes is that like running away, right? And she's like, I just want to go to the lakes with my love. And I think it's like the epitome of that settled of the literally the while I bathe in cliffside pools with my calamitous love and insurmountable grief. And for a long time, I do think Taylor was like, okay, I can't move forward, I can't move back, but I'm fine if all I have is calamitous love and insurmountable grief. Um,
Yeah.
and for that moment in time for her, like, this is fine. I can work with this because me and my beloved are together. We're going to do it together. Um,
And we're still communicating.
exactly. And I Taylor of the moment, I think, especially like coming out of Lover and entering a pandemic, coming out of Reputation and Lover in that pandemic of like being settled and okay with, she's like, if this is as much as I get, then this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
She did not I don't think she foresaw I don't think she foresaw anything that was about to happen.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. She was probably like, I really hope people like this album. I don't know what I'm doing. And then she did the Folklore Long Pond studio sessions, and then she won and then she dropped Evermore. So that's a great. Yeah, let's talk about Evermore. It dropped, I think, what, 6 months? August,
um
September. So it was July, August,
yeah.
September, October, November, December. 5 months after Folklore. Once again, did not a lot going on in the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that it was gonna be like the Exile music video because she was in like a cabin. It was once
Mhm.
she tweeted the trees. That's when I was like, oh shoot. She like quote tweeted an LA Times reviewer with like the trees, and then she deleted it and then like added one more tree. So she wanted
Mhm.
9 trees. So
I
then
know.
we were
So I
like,
was like, she's up to
oh
something.
yeah, and she dropped this, and Evermore is the one that were interrupted. There was a glitch called Showgirl,
There was a
and
glitch.
Evermore. So we have talked a little bit about Evermore, so we don't have to go too much into the context around the album.
Yep.
But we do want to take a little bit of this marriage metaphor, marriage story. Oh my gosh, marriage story. Which actually, Taylor was watching Marriage Story, right?
Mhm.
So Marriage Story, if you don't know, is a movie that's by Noah Baumbach, which starred Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson and their dissolving marriage. There's that really famous scene where Adam Driver like punches a wall. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and in this one, I feel like we see a lot more of like, I guess, wilder emotions.
Yeah. They're a lot more. They're sprawling. I wouldn't say
Sprawling,
wilder.
yes, no,
Sprawling.
I love that.
Where folklore is contained and settled, evermore sprawls.
Yeah, Evermore is like the song Ivy, right? You have it
Mhm.
just creeps and crawls, and all of a sudden you're like, why is it somehow invading my shed and also climbing up to the roof of my house? Um, yeah, what song? Well, I'm sure we'll hit many songs, but what song do you want to start
We're.
with?
I think we should start with the obvious of. We should start with the obvious of tolerated. I think we should just off the cuff immediately go to tolerated because tolerated is the marriage song. Like, this is a married couple, and this is someone who is no longer content with being settled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. It's based off of Rebecca, a novel in which a
Mhm.
woman is married to a much older man, and there is a lot. She like loves him,
Yep.
but he barely tolerates her.
What is happening in that book? If you haven't read it, you probably should. It's by Daphne du Maurier, and it's, yes, this young woman. She's married to someone who's way older than her, um, and she had previously left being in the not in the care. She was in the service of another woman who like low key treated her like shit, and so it was like, oh, there's some cycles going on there. I see that, du Maurier, but also she was like, she marries this man, and he is a widow, and his ex-wife's name was Rebecca, and we never learn the narrator's name because in the relationship, Rebecca is all over the house, she's all over this, and Magnus, is his name Magnus? Did I make that
Let me
up?
look it
Hold
up.
on. I think his name is Magnus. Um um what is his name? I feel
Maxim de
crazy.
Winter.
Maxim, thank you. Magnus is a character from Matilda who was
Yes.
killed.
Yeah.
Anyway, Maxim had this ex wife who was a larger than life person. And he and the main character feels overshadowed to the point where she doesn't have a name. And there's a whole mystery thing aspect going on with that. But the relationship between the main character and Maxim is that like Maxim is this older, more like imposing figure, and he is not treating the main character with so much care. Like again, he never calls her name, not
Mm,
once. We never know this woman's name.
that's crazy.
She just becomes the second Mrs. De Winter.
Yeah, and yeah, if you've heard the song, and we're not going to go too much into it because eventually we will cover Tolerate It.
We will get to her next week,
But
maybe.
but yeah, I mean, this song is one that she performed on the Eras tour. It's the one where she was like, climbing on the table and like throwing wine glasses off. And in this song, we have this woman who feels absolutely underappreciated, not loved. You know, used my best colors for your portrait. I lay the tables with the fancy shit. But then there's this moment in the bridge where she suddenly has like this moment of like wanting to take on, to have agency. So, like, what would you do if I, took this dagger in me and removed it? If I break free and leave us in ruins?
Gain the weight of you and lose
It's
it.
like it's
Like,
crazy. And then there's that line like, "Where's that man who threw blankets over my barbed wire? I made you my temple, my mural, my sky."
you
Um,
guys want to know what that barbed wire line does to me? Okay, hold on. Because I need to find my tweets. Because when I first heard that line, I went, huh, where have I heard Taylor talk about barbed wire before?
Invisible
And I was like,
string.
invisible string. And this was me in 2021 because the line invisible string is a string that pulled me out of all the wrong arms right into that dive bar. Someone wrapped all my past mistakes in barbed wire, chains around my demon, wolves to brave the seasons. And I was like, where's that man who threw blankets over my barbed wire? And I was like, that's very interesting to connect those two songs. Like sometimes you just use the same line to use the same, like the same word to use the same word. But I think it's very interesting to connect the two of them and to kind of give Invisible String a bad ending, if you will. That is
No, well,
like,
to me, so I actually take your other interpretation, which is that I feel like they're both the same image, but they're not necessarily connected. Because I think,
yeah, they don't have to be connected.
yeah,
It's like when you connect them, it's like, ooh,
yeah,
negative ending.
yeah,
But then it's like, ooh, for in Invisible String, barbed wire is like this good thing. Like
yeah. No, so that's what I'm.
he
Oh yeah,
chained it up.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think with the tolerated lyric, putting the blankets. Who's that man who threw? So he used to throw blankets over the barbed wire so that she could cross them, right?
Yep.
People. So the original use of barbed wire was in wars to prevent an invading army, like trench warfare, to prevent the other person from crossing into your zone, right? It would cut them up.
Yep.
So you could throw blankets on it so that you could just kind of roll over. And so this is very. They were in the trenches together. Ooh, that was another imagery
Ooh, ooh.
from Peace with You in the Trenches. Anyway,
I know.
okay, we're gonna keep.
Anyway,
Anyway, we're gonna keep
but
moving.
no, but like it's just hold on. It's like because I keep getting like the past mistakes used to be wrapped in barbed wire, right? But now it's like it's her barbed wire. So it's like her whatever she thinks like is she prickly? Is it the things that she goes through? He used to be right there with her. Where is that man? Like that was the question. She's like, you have started to tolerate me to such an extent that I'm like, I could get out of this. I could leave. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I think the key to understanding tolerate as a song and tolerate it in the marriage metaphor of it all is that our speaker has enough agency where she can leave at any moment.
But
But
she doesn't at the
she
end.
doesn't.
She sits and waits again, right? And I think that's a
Yep.
lot of relationships where you kind of have this cycle, right? Of like we fight, we make up, and then but then and the people promise to get better, people promise to change, and then the cycle just continues. And I
Yep.
think that's is that also I'm googling like yeah, kid, like very sad, beautiful, tragic, right? Distance,
Yep.
timing, breakdown, fighting, silence. The train runs off its tracks. Kiss me, try to fix it. Could you just try to
Could you
listen?
just try to and then there's the listening part
Yeah,
and the key again like the that communication we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
like last in for folklore, it's here again because she goes, if it's all in my head, tell me now. Like
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't just stare at me. Don't just like keep your head down while I'm walking to you. Like talk to me. Tell me anything. And then with her performance of it on stage, she's like, talk, hold my hand, look at me.
Yeah. Look at me.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's not
well,
get too much into tolerate it because we'll give her her own episode,
so the one
eventually.
I was gonna pick was Happiness. So
Oh, what a song!
yeah, so Happiness is a song that is written from the perspective of a woman who's just gotten out of what looks like a marriage, or at least a very
Hmm.
intentional long term relationship. And they're not quite at the point where they can forgive them and move on perfectly. They're still struggling so much with the pain and the anger, but also wanting to move on. Like it's this very liminal space that the narrator is in. And
There's
so,
a lot of movement in Evermore in general, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
this space of I am still so angry, but I know in a moment I can see the forest for the trees
yeah,
soon, but not right now. And I'm allowed to be this pissed off. I think that's like happiness's whole thing to me is that one day, like when I can gather myself enough, I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
like
And I
I
think
will be
that
able to
part
move
of the
past this.
calculation of the dissolution of a marriage or a long term relationship like this is like knowing that, because in Tolerate It, the narrator doesn't leave, right? They stay. But I think
Hmm.
the courage and the thing that the narrator in Happiness saw is that there will be happiness after you. Like I can break, we can, I'm going to do this breakup. We're gonna separate because
Hmm.
I have to leave it all behind and there will be happiness. Right? I think that's
Hmm.
always the question that couples have to make after a certain point, after so many mistakes, miscommunications, non-communications, blow ups, and silent treatments. Like, is there a moment where I have to say I have to move on?
Exactly. And I think it's so one of the lyrics of happiness of the I can't make it go away by making you a villain
Mm-hmm.
is like I think there is such a maturity in that, like as a writer to write I can't make you a villain in the story. Like I can't. So I have to feel this pain because I can't just be like you were a terrible person, so I didn't waste my time. And it's like you weren't always terrible. I wasn't always terrible. We both were hurt and did hurt. And by making you just a pure bad guy, it won't make me feel any better. Even
Yeah.
if you were just a pure bad guy, it's not going to make me feel any better for loving you, even if you were a bad guy, right? You can love very complicated people, and then when that time is like when the time for that love to like come to a close, it's never going to be like neat and
Yeah.
tidy. It's always going to be like this is this is complicated. Like I love somebody who hurts people, like who hurt people. um and I feel like anyone who's ever been in a situation whether it's like loving your parents even if they suck, like you can't help but love them, loving like someone who is like you chose to love, like friends or relationships of like people who were bad. You can't just make them entirely a villain. Like it you can't make that pain go away of the
Yeah.
ending just because they were bad. It's very interesting.
And dear listeners, we don't want this to be just more divorce. We know this episode is about marriage, right?
Yeah.
So I will say there is a little bit of hope in the song Cowboy Like Me, which
Ah,
one of the greatest songs ever
so
written,
cute. So precious.
right?
It's so real and precious. And this is what we mean by the emotions on Evermore are sprawling.
Yeah, right.
They go
And
wide.
we're gonna touch on this real quick because it's just I just want to talk about the little bit at the end. Now you hang from my lips like the gardens of Babylon with your boots beneath my bed. Forever is the sweetest con, and
There's something about that line.
it's. I mean, I remember people being like,
Oh my
"It's
god.
there. She's being conned again. She's never gonna love again because
And
he
that's
broke her
not
heart."
what she
That's not what she
means.
means. Let's look at the
If
whole
they are
context.
con artists, that her I think the thing is, her art is a con. Like her job is to con. So she likes conning. So she's like that's the thing. If you're talking about two con artists, it's like the sweetest con I could ever pull is having you forever.
Yeah.
Like that is the best thing I could do with my work is to get you.
Yeah, and it's also like,
And it's so
yeah, and they've
beautiful.
tricked each other into falling in love with each other. I just think that's beautiful. But so yeah, so we have that. Any other? I mean,
There's
any
so much. Like you could talk a little bit about Coney Island. You could talk
yes.
about Long Story Short, which is another like if we could talk about Long Story
Well,
Short,
yeah.
which
Let's.
is
Well,
like
we still have
a
like,
good one.
yeah. Just yeah. Say
Before
yeah. Go for it.
just so we don't aren't fully like
Sad.
divorcing. Like we already had our champagne problem, so we don't have to talk about that
Yeah.
again. But I don't know. There's just the now I'm all about you. Like long story short, it was a bad time, but I got you, and so it's good, and I survived.
Yeah. I feel like this one
Um,
is very similar to like almost like the lover songs, right?
yeah.
Like, we made it, we're here, and a little bit of the folklore, like the settled vibe, So we are
Hmm.
seeing, good things happen here as well. And then I do think like songs like "Right Where You Left Me" and "It's Time to Go." That's kind of we've
Yeah.
kind of talked about those, like the
Yeah.
separation, the divorce, the
Yeah.
things. So, but as you can see, she
Yeah.
is running the whole gamut here. She is
Yes.
just she's going
She
for it.
is everywhere. She really is, and especially with It's Time to Go, where the marriage is like stay for the kids, oh, staying for the keeping it how it is for the kids will only break their hearts worse. Like
Yes.
she's like, and you could tell she's like not into that. She's like, you need to leave. Like if you have to leave, you should leave. But it's also like it's way more complicated than that.
Yes.
See, tolerate it. See, happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we have to move on to the
Because we got some,
move on.
yeah. We are gonna move on to our baby midnights, our deserved
Oh,
album
my
of the year
daughter.
winner. We, if you haven't yet, you can always check out our midnights episodes, and so we don't have to go too in detail, but we never. I don't think we have. Well, we never did a specific episode on these themes of marriage. So
Yep.
we're just gonna. I mean, we have to start with Lavender Haze, right?
Oh, we have to start with Lavender Haze because I feel like, and there's like the joke of the Lavender Haze police, because of
Okay, so
what
the Lavender
Lavender
Haze
Haze.
police were basically people being like, Taylor doesn't want to get married anymore. Okay, listen to Lavender Haze. You know that line.
Oh man,
All they keep asking
the only
me
thing that they see is a
is a
one
one.
night or a bride. Why?
Yeah, and
Blah
like,
blah.
yeah. And she doesn't want that 1960 shit, like that stuff. So there were people being like, Taylor never wants to get married, which everyone who was normal said no.
Like that's not
Because
what it
that means you have not
was.
been listening to all the other albums 1 through 9. Um,
Yeah. So
but we have, I mean, and then it went to the other hand, which, oh, Lavender Haze is it a cope?
and it's like for like if we look at it through the themes of marriage, it's not it feels like that circling on a settlement, a contentment of I'm not going to push you for marriage
Yes,
yet, and I don't need to because
we're
we
so
have a lavender haze. Like
yeah.
we are so in love. I don't need to push you for marriage, even though from the outside everybody is like get married, get married, get married, dump her, dump her, dump her. Like I don't need that, and I don't want that. And I think part of it, Lavender Haze is a almost a celebrity in marriage song, right?
Mm.
Of like the second they're like, oh, a celebrity gets married, she's gonna settle down and not be a celebrity anymore. And Loki Taylor's getting a lot of that right now since she got engaged. Of like, oh, she's not gonna make any music. This is her last thing. Even though Taylor has always said, I'm gonna be making music until I draw my last breath. Um,
Literally.
very Prince of her, if you will.
Yeah.
But uh like and so she's like it's dizzying that they're bringing up my history, and her history is of like never making it to the aisle, like never making it to the engagement, and that's like that's the stress she doesn't like. It's not that she doesn't want marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah,
Yeah. I think
Lavender Haze.
I think the next songs, actually they're pretty linked, is I think "You're on Your Own, Kid" and "Midnight Rain."
Mm-hmm.
because and you're on your own, kid. She starts off by saying like, oh, like there's one thing that could have made me stay in this small town, and that was you, and it didn't happen. And Midnight Rain, right? Like he wanted to stay in this small town, right? He wanted a bride. I was making my own name, so she runs off to the city, and um, and she really puts her career first. Like
Yep.
love that Taylor.
Exactly. Very T. Very very like she's like I have myself. And I guess if we were to do like our theme things of like reputation being like I need to keep this flame, lover being very like protective, folklore being settled, evermore being like I am going to explore every inch while I'm settled, while it's safe
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and being content. I feel like Midnight's is she's starting to bristle a little bit against the settling of like from the outside everybody's telling me we should be doing this. I'm dealing with like what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
I am like, and I'm dealing with the fact like I know if I had stayed back then I would already be married and this is something that I want, but I also wanted so badly to be this pop star.
Yeah.
And she's like she's feeling the two halves like there's a merging that she's trying to do, and that there is so much like tension there, like the tension between wanting trying to figure out like I guess coming into a self-realization that I am both and not either or is Midnight
Which I
like.
yeah, no, I think anti-hero, which we skipped over, really does encapsulate what this is, right? It's how do
Mhm.
I'm all these things. I'm this monster on a hill. I am this girl who's afraid to leave the house. I am this party girl that people, that maybe I want to be or people think like whatever. And I think because of the pandemic, she only had to be like one of those things, right? Like
Yeah.
the girl who's
Yeah.
running away to the lakes. But now
Mhm.
that
Back out in the
I'm
world
out in the
if you
world
will.
again, and I missed being out in the world. I love touring. I love being a pop star. How do I put all these back together? And I think that was one of the main questions she was asking on Minutes. Is like, who am I?
Exactly.
And then sometimes the only way to move, looking back, is the only way to move forward. And she was deep in the re-recording process as well. And
Yeah.
so I think that gave her that chance
Yeah.
to be like, okay, why did I make these decisions? Did I like that? Did I not? How can I move forward? And it's good for her. She
Yeah.
basically took journaling to a whole new level.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting to look at Antihero because there's an implication of marriage in Antihero. We
Right.
don't get an implication of if it's a happy marriage, but we do get an implication of it spawned children who would only want her for her money
Money. Yep.
after she's passed.
Yeah.
Like it is not like this is not a beautiful future that she's envisioning. She's like, if I she was like, if I just pick settling down, right? Then I'm gonna have kids that only want the money I made. As
Yeah. That's great. What
or
a crazy
maybe I
thought.
spent so much time being the pop star in my relationship, I didn't wasn't able to nurture them, quote unquote. So now they only see me as this big bad pop star to take money from mom.
Yeah.
Not to like grieve at her funeral, but to wonder like how much money am I getting? Um,
Yeah.
so the tension of either or when it should have always been both is all over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just very interesting to like it's just interesting. It's
Yeah.
just
No,
interesting.
and I think even in some of the love songs on this, like Sweet Nothing, right? That's almost
Mhm.
a callback to the folklore Evermore, like escaped from the outside noise, right? Trying to be as settled as possible,
Mhm.
because we know she's out. On the way home, I wrote a poem. Granted, this
Mhm.
is a reference to Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney, um, but in the context of this album song, when we first came out, we didn't really know like the full backstory, and it's probably
Mhm.
at least a little based on her life. So many disclaimers. This idea of like he's been home, right? Like he's not out
He's
there
in the
with her.
house.
Yeah, he's been in the house. He's in the kitchen. And when she comes home, she kind of doesn't have to think about or be that person out there. Whereas I think now she
Yeah.
would be like, I'm that same person both.
Exactly. So it's really interesting how Sweet Nothing is like divided persona. Once I step in that house, Taylor Swift TM does not come in. And there's tension there of like you can't split yourself in half and leave the half of you that is so important to you outside, and you can see, and again, you see her dealing with that tension all over Midnight,
Mm-hmm.
and then it coming to a head in the Torture Poets department.
Yes. Yes. Any other songs you want to hit on in this? Or there's also the 3 a.m. track, so don't forget that too.
There's the 3 a.m. tracks, but I don't know if I want to touch those. I mean, there's Dare Reader where she's like, I'm alone in my house,
Yeah.
which is like, she's like, I'm too big of a star, but that's less
Yes.
marriage.
Yeah.
And we talked about Dear Reader, and again, I think it's more emblematic of that tension that we are touching on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of
Um,
it too. Like, I've been married for 15 years now, and to say that I'm the same person as I was 15 years ago is a lie, right? Like, I've changed, my husband has changed, and us having to grow and learn to love the new versions of ourselves is like part of that, is part of marriage and that struggle. And so I feel like, having a partner who's able to be supportive and listen and care about you, even though they might not recognize all of you in the next day, I think is an important, excuse me, like crucial part of making partnerships work. And
exactly.
I think maybe here, again, not saying I know Taylor, but I think that is like when you are going through an existential crisis like this, who am I? What am I doing? What am I here for? You really need to have a partner who can understand you and really love
Yeah.
you, all of you.
Yeah, a partner who can kind of see you as, like, sees that you are bursting kind of at your seams a little bit, trying to, and it allows you to be like, just take it off. Like, you don't need to like,
Yeah.
you can grow bigger than what you are. You don't need to like force yourself to be small to fit in the corner. Like, if I see you forcing yourself into a box, and I want to let you know, like, take off this box. You don't have to be in the box. Expand,
Exactly.
and I will expand. Like, you're not diminishing me to make yourself bigger.
Oh, excuse me. That was, you said it perfectly. So wise.
Thank you. I try so hard. Anyway,
I mean, but then, and because we see the consequence of not
mhm.
being able to be fully yourself and not, and feeling like you have to stay within the boundaries. We get TTPD, the Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah, and the thing about marriage on TTPD, for a lot of it, there is some, if we went from settled to bristling, there is some very sinister overtones of like the her desire being feasted upon and used against her. Um,
Ooh,
and
like
that's why the first song I want to point out is the Torture Post Department title track.
that is my baby.
It's my baby. If no one understands it, we
We
understand it.
understand. I
I
love it.
got it immediately. Well, I'm lying. I can't say I got it immediately
I
because
got it when
it
we
took
did our,
me the next day.
no, I
The
got it when
next
we did our
day.
podcast. I
Yeah. And
like,
once
oh,
you sit with it and talk about it and it clicks,
it clicked.
it's over.
If you guys have
Um
not, that is one of my favorite episodes because you hear the epiphany happening like near the
yeah.
middle end of the episode, and then we just
Yeah.
like go crazy. I think it's like our fourth or fifth episode.
Yeah.
It was
But exactly.
incredible. I mean, yeah.
It's
So we have this woman who is sitting staring at her typewriter that her her recent lover has left at her apartment, and she's trying to figure out what is going on. Like she's like the music sounds like she's in some kind of like sitcom where
mhm.
she's supposed to be laughing along with it, but and she thinks everything is fine. Like I chose this cyclone with you. Everything you're trying to self sabotage, but ha, that's fine. And everything's
Exactly.
fine. Everything's fine, isn't it? And she's just like spiraling, spiraling, spiraling until you realize, oh my gosh, she's just been ghosted.
Exactly. And then it's like when you hit that bridge, the thing, and why I bring it up for our marriage chapter, is the line. Who else is going to know me, right? So tell me who else is going to know me. At dinner, you take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the one people put wedding rings on. And that's the closest I've come to my heart exploding. And I need to point out, I think it's very important that the line right before that is, so tell me who else is going to know me, because who else would know how badly I want to be married, like how intensely I want that closeness that should come with marriage, in order to use it against me, to take like the rings that I wear on my other rings and be like, haha, I'm going to this on your ring finger and watch you like get so happy, and no, I'm never going to give this to you, because I like, my intentions is to leave, and the only like the only evidence left of me will be that typewriter that I left.
No, because I mean, you skipped over the first half of the bridge, was like, you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave. So of course
Exactly.
I'm gonna believe, like, oh, like I'm like you and I will die if we're not together. So when you put this ring on my finger as a symbol of the future ring you put on my finger, I'm gonna believe you, and I did believe you.
Exactly.
And
And
so,
then you left.
and then
You
you
left.
left.
And like you did it with my own rings. That's how much it's like it
Oof.
was like you didn't play with your rings and put it on my middle finger, on my ring finger. You did it with my own rings. Like
You
it was
wear
like
this.
you were playing with
It's
me.
so my cheese ricochet, right? Like you wear the same jewels that I gave you when when you buried me. Like, but this idea, it's like it's
Exactly.
mine. They were mine. You played
Like
with
this
my
was
things.
mine. How dare you? Like what?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that also that lyric with the you put it on the one people put wedding rings on. It unlocked so much of why she why this happened, why this whole
Exactly.
episode, manic episode, happened, right? Like
Mhm.
going from the highs of Lover, right, to the settling of Folklore Evermore, and and then the confusion and bristling and revisiting of Midnights, and it's culminating, excuse me, in this confusion, right? And I think another thing that
Yeah.
we skipped over Fortnite, but I think one of the themes I think is like I think she thought that she, and oh gosh, even going back to you're losing me, right? Like I wouldn't marry me either, right? A pathological people pleaser, like this idea that she's unmarried, not the
She's
marriage
not.
type,
Yeah, if
right?
she
Like
were to get married, it would be an unhappy.
yeah, right.
It
Like
would
she's
be an
kind of
unhappy
resigned to it, like you
marriage.
said, an anti-hero. Like the kid's not
Mhm.
even loving her, right? She's either gonna be in a loveless marriage where her husband cheats on her, or she's
Mhm.
gonna be in a marriage where she feels stifled, right?
Mhm.
Or some other, I'm sure there are other like examples of like just these are the like, but there's no true love for me. The closest I can get is this guy putting my own ring on my own ring
Exactly.
finger.
And it's even more like apparent because she says that people put wedding rings on, not me, not you.
Oh,
Other people. Like people when I look in people's windows, that's what they're doing.
yeah,
Like other people do that. And it's not something like it creates such a distance where she's like, this is something I can never have, but what we have is enough.
yeah, yeah,
And it's the closest her heart that's the closest she's ever come to her heart exploding.
yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm
Be-
about to get angry and we're
because before someone said she's not marriageable, I wouldn't. He doesn't
like
want to marry. Like nobody wants to marry me.
like a pathological people pleaser. And when I think about that line, I wouldn't marry me either, pathological people pleaser. And I think it's fine that we're talking about You're Losing Me with the Torture Poets Department because it comes out after midnight. It's a little crossover. Um and there's also like the renegade of it all, but that's it doesn't
We'll keep
mention
going. We'll
Torture Poets.
keep
Not gonna
going.
touch it. But the thing about that line that really I remember listening to that line and my jaw dropping and getting so like infuriated because it felt like when you can tell someone is repeating something that was said to them.
Yeah, yeah,
It felt like it felt like someone she was repeating something that was said to her and she internalized.
yeah,
Like, what is that? You said some things that I cannot absorb.
yeah.
That's like
She
that's
could
what
not
that
unabsorb
lyric
that. Yeah,
feels like.
yeah,
Yeah. And so she's like, of course you wouldn't marry me. I wouldn't marry me. This is what I am.
yeah. And yeah, and yeah, this I do
Brother.
think that, some people can be engaged for a long time, but I do feel like eventually Taylor felt like it was like if you're going to marry me. If you're not, you got to do something because right after, well, you have TTPD, My Boy, Down Bad, and then in So Long
We should
London,
talk about it. So long London.
right? She died on the altar waiting for the proof.
Waiting,
She
waiting,
was like,
waiting.
how long do you have to stand there that you die of starvation, exhaustion, whatever? Just
Let me
yeah,
not cry. Let me
yeah.
not cry.
Let's not
Let me
let's
hold it. Let's hold it. Let's hold. I'm holding it together, you
yeah.
guys. I'm not gonna cry. I cried last episode. I'm not gonna cry. But yeah, like the very specific. We have gone over and over the altar usage, right? I've gone over and over the altar usage in essays. I've written the essays,
Yes.
but like the fact that she's like, I died on the altar. I was waiting for you. She was like, I was a sacrifice, but I was also the waiting bride, the eternal bride, like
Mhm.
waiting for you, the eternal potential bride, right? I was waiting. And you said that one day we would have it. But then you also said we can't talk about timing in times like these.
Very
Like,
renegade. Yeah.
like she's like, now's not the time. Like,
Yeah.
you can't ask me what time it'll be.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think I also think there was like this idea that like
sorry.
marriage has to be sad. A relationship has to be sad. I think that was kind of the default. Like verse I think we went from being settled into
Insurmountable grief.
yeah, and then
That's what it
yeah,
was.
exactly. And then the settling in this lowness, right? Like even right before that altar line, right? How much sad did you think I had, right? Just how much tragedy, just how low did you think I'd go
Yeah.
before I'd self implode,
And
before I'd
we
have
didn't
to go
even
be free?
talk about peace. Where
Oh,
of the like, give you my wild, give you a child. She's like, I will marry you right now, and we will sit in this trenches and in this insurmountable grief together.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I kind of didn't want to mention peace because it would have made me sad. So thank you for still
Sorry,
doing
you're
that for
welcome.
me,
You're welcome. I did it anyway.
specifically. But no, but I think you're right. I think there was this idea of like, this because settling isn't always a bad thing. But if you start to settle in the valleys, and I don't mean like the fertile valleys, I mean like the valley of the shadow of death. It is why would
Yeah.
you stay there? Let's get out. Let's
And it's
move.
like, and it's crazy because it's like we do not have to stay here is the
Yeah.
thing. Like, and I think that's what Taylor was realizing through like the realization process she goes through the torture post department is that I don't, and we don't need to just sit in the trenches
No.
when the literally the ladder is right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
We
We don't
don't
have
need
to
a
stay
moment of
here.
warm sun. Let's just move to Hawaii.
Oh my god. Anyway, um, anyway, I also want to talk about. Why would you? Anyway, um, Lord, I want to talk about my daddy. I love him because
Yeah.
um, the wedding theme. Obviously, it's like runaway bride with her, with
Yes.
her
Yes.
groom.
I
We're gonna get married anyway.
yeah, and I think one of the things I love about But Daddy I Love Him is like it's the older, wilder, maybe Romeo and Juliet are dumb song. Right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you'll run away with this guy? You've just met him. Is he a good guy? He just loved Rosalind like 3 days ago. Like, girl, like please. Um,
Hmm.
so if you haven't, please listen to Love Story and But Daddy I Love Him back to back and be like, oh, context changes things. Like when
Exactly. And I do love like this one it's like, no, you can't come to the wedding. Like me and this we're running away, we're getting married, and I'm pregnant and I'm happy. Like
just
yes,
kidding,
we're
but I mean I
crazy.
will have his baby.
Exactly. And I love it so much because even though like when you in the context of the album, it's just her like regaining agency and being like, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. And also like you guys are the ones who said I have to be a bride, so let me go be a bride.
Yeah, why are you guys
Just
mad? Why are
because
you guys mad?
exactly you're mad because it's somebody you don't like. But it's also like it's such a reclamation that this is one of those songs where it's like it does not matter who you think is about, like the muse of it all. Who cares?
Hmm.
It's like she's reframing marriage and the idea of joy and wild joy for herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's no longer like she's no longer stuck in that lavender haze of it all, no longer like looking at the past marriage. She's like, this if I'm going to do this and be married, I don't need to be sad in it, right? It's wild joy. It
Yeah.
is run away. I'm not gonna do what you tell me. But we love you, but daddy, I love him.
Yeah. It is when she sang that song during the tour. Oh my gosh. Place went crazy and she is so happy, especially
I know.
especially when she gets to do her little archer pose and like going to so high school. But well, anyway, we'll get there. Yeah. Then what's the next song that you think is kind of marriage themed?
Ugh, they're so I mean, we kind of have to talk about the manuscript. I feel like we're gonna leave So High School for last just so we can end on such a fun note. But I feel like we should talk about the manuscript
Go for it.
just because of the way it opens, and he's like, sex was half as good as the conversation was. Soon they'd be pushing strollers. Like soon we're gonna get married, and she's being told this at a young age by a much older man, of like, we are going to get married. You're going to be my wife. I'm going to get you pregnant. We're going to have a baby. We're going to do all of this. And that's like set her expectations. But it also set her expectations of when she gets told promises like that, it ends.
Yeah, she
and
gets told
soon it was
promises, but
over.
never it's never a promise that he'll marry her. You know, like there's never
Exactly.
actually proof.
And it's like it's always been dangled in front of her face, I think.
Yeah.
This, like, everything that she could dream of is dangled. And because it's dangled, she's like, okay, I gotta leave before I get left. I gotta bolt. Like, I gotta get out of here. Um, so I think that's interesting
Yeah, I think
to
it's yeah, it's this idea because again, Taylor's always wanted to get married, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married if that's what you
mhm.
want. And I think another one I think I wanted to go back to is actually LOML because I was like, I think there's another
Uh-huh.
one, right? Like, if you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary. You and I go from one kiss to getting
To
married, and then
getting married.
later you shit talk me under the table, talking rings and talking
Rings
cradles.
and talking again, that dangling in front of her face, that
Yes,
knowing someone who knows you so well, they know how much you want it.
and it like, and it kept her there. It kept her tethered to be like,
Yep.
whether it's in a long term
When
relationship
she was
that went
ready to
nowhere,
go, squeeze that hand,
three
squeeze
times.
that ring hand and being like, look, I
Yeah,
will do this.
and
Give us the right timing. When the time's right, we're
yeah,
gonna do this.
and the fact that it's happened to her multiple times. Like I think people need to realize, have a little empathy, and be like, knowing this about her, they used it against her to keep her
Yep.
basically handcuffed to a spell,
Yep.
right?
Keep her on edge, right? Like, keep her on, like, just writing of the it's the sunken cost fallacy almost, where it's
Yes.
like,
So
I've put so much into this, and there is so much in our future that if I leave now, what was the point? Like, and then you got go back to like what she said, even in happiness, like there will be happiness. But when you're so deep down in it, it's just like, is it not, there's the line of, are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed now because I fell for this lie and these snake oil salesmen, con artists, and and
oh my
it
gosh,
like
that
part
reminds
of it
me.
has to be like, this is
Fresh out the
embarrassing.
slammer too, at the park
Yep.
where you used to sit on children's swings wearing
Where,
imaginary rings.
like, all
Multiple
of it, it's
times.
so sinister. It was never a real ring. Like, the ring never materialized. I think that's what, like, it's just like, she's keep being told, like, this will happen, it will happen, it will happen. Um, I know you so well, we're gonna happen. And she keeps being told, just wait. Wait, it will happen. And she's being told by so many people at all times, oh my God, get behind me. Like, I'm really
Yeah.
sick to my stomach
Yeah.
because it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I have to settle. I have to settle. I have to be like,
And
because it'll
and
happen.
and I have to settle, or I guess I just have to be unhappy. I guess I just have to
Exactly.
make myself smaller. Oh, my Shayla.
Like, oh my God. And that's why, like, of the LOML of it all, of the I felt a hole like this, never before and ever since, because it's not just the whole of, like, yeah, somebody left, but like, when they left, they took all of your future planning with them.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a dream? Well, Hannah, you have your children now, but like before you had kids, did you have those dreams of, like, you dreamt a full life where you had babies and you were like married and you had kids? And I have these dreams consistently, and I wake up and I'm like, where's my daughter?
Oh,
What happens?
I
Where
will
did
tell
my
you,
kids
now
go?
that I'm a mom and I have kids, whenever I have dreams with my kids in them, I get stressed in the dream because I'm like, where are my children? Who's taking care of them? It's very stressful. Just
Like,
FYI.
it's like, and that's why it's the, in one glimpse it's legendary. Like, for a moment, like,
Yeah.
if those dreams were to come to fruition, it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
um but all of it, it's imaginary rings, it's
Yeah. It's
shit
her
talking.
rings. Yeah. It's wild. It's at
Oh,
dinner, you
oh,
take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the one people put wedding rings on. I can't. Okay. Um, so,
anyway,
um,
I feel like maybe we could talk about the prophecy here, because the prophecy, I feel like low-key we should, um
yeah. And you love talking
just
about
especially
prophecy,
come,
so why not?
I do love talking about the prophecy, but I think we should talk about the prophecy here, and then I look in people's windows.
Sure.
Um, but I think we should talk about the prophecy here, because the prophecy is what we were talking about, that she's either doomed to unhappy marriage or doomed to be alone forever despite her dreams. And in the moment, the prophecy is like the lowest of the low. I am prostrated on the ground, begging
Mm-hmm.
for that not to be my future and to be the future I see, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't want this for me. I just want someone who wants my company.
No,
Like,
the
and
I'm so
it's
afraid I sealed my fate. No sign of soulmates, right? We've talked about this. Like, there's all these men who lie and tell me they're the love of my life, that they know me. Who's going to know me? Who's going to decode me? All that stuff. Who's going to know you, decode, sorry. Who's going to know you, decode you,
yeah.
all, right? Like, she's willing to put in all this, but no one wants to know her. She's just a paperweight in shades
Yeah.
of gray.
She's like, I'm too big, but I'm also too small and I'm not worth anything. And it's like, I just want someone who, I love the wants my company, not tolerates my company. I want someone
Oof.
who if I'm not there, they're like, when are you coming home? I want to be with you. I want, like, I actively want to choose
Or
you
I
and
want
be
to
with
go
you.
where you
And I want to
go.
hang out with you.
Right? In
I want
Lover,
to
she
go
says,
where
I
you
want to go where
go.
you go. She wants someone to say, I want to go where you go. Like, I'll go
Yeah,
with
she
you
wants someone to
too.
tell it to her. Like, she wants someone to be like, I want to be in the room with you all the time. I
Yeah.
want to ask your opinions on everything.
Yeah.
I want my uncle told me once, after my aunt died, he said it's hard for him to enjoy things because if he watches anything, he wants to look over and ask her opinion or look over and tell her about it
Yeah.
because that's the person he shares everything with. And she's like, I just want someone who wants my company. Like, does a bear, like, who wants me around and wants, like, all of me, not just the me that is not a pop star, the me that is a pop star. Like, I have to be both. And if they can't want both, then this is never ever gonna work.
Hmm.
Um anyway, my Shayla. My Shayla. My
All
Shayla.
right, let's
Like,
go to
oh
I Look in People's Windows.
my God.
So this
Oh, and
song
after that we, yeah,
is,
go.
yeah, this song, I feel like it's, as a big celebrity, as a quote unquote monster on a hill, right? Taylor Swift, when she tries to, like, she finds it so hard to be normal sometimes. The only way she can really
Mm-hmm.
experience it is by looking through other people's lives, right? Where she gets transfixed by them and their lives. And what did you say earlier? Like, she might see people like proposing.
Exactly. I like the they have their friends over, so it implies like a couple or maybe married couple is like entertaining.
Oh,
Like, they're entertaining and they're drinking nice wine. Like, they're having a little dinner party.
yeah.
When am I gonna do that?
Well, she does do that,
Oh,
but
yeah,
co-hosting.
yeah. Exactly. Like, when am I gonna co-host? Um, I'm trying to figure out if I Hate It Here has some marriage themes. Like, it kind of does, but not. So
Well,
I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm not gonna touch that one.
yeah, no,
What
we've.
was what? There was one that, oh, how did it end?
Oh, there we
Called
go.
off marriage. Like, the called off marriage of it all. Of it
Yeah,
all.
I mean,
Didn't you hear they called it all off?
yeah, yeah, that's.
And I don't know. And it's once again that the dreaming of, like, all of, like, they could be, it's gone, of
Hmm.
that bridge. The deflation of our dreaming, leaving me bereft and reeling.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
and that's how she felt it would be, right?
yep.
She felt like it's just gonna keep ending. She felt hand on the throttle, thought I caught lightning in a bottle, and it's gone again. But we we can full throttle.
Let's go. Let's turn back. So High School is so fun because it has all of the, like, new beginnings of Reputation mixed with the excitement of Lover, but the full steam of Head that she never got to. Like, she immediately settled in of, like, this is comfortable, this is, we're fine, and then bristled. Versus So High School is like, we're going full throttle, like,
Okay,
this is
guys,
happening.
Exquisite refound this tweet that she had tweeted when Taylor showed up to the first Chiefs game, right? And she was like, I've seen this film before, right? Like, girl breaks up with her boyfriend, gets with the dirtbag, and then immediately finds her husband. And there's me in the replies being like, oh my gosh, wait. And the convertible. And she was like, yeah, the convert. We had like this little mini
And
conversation.
then I literally said, if she's at the Jets game, that's her husband.
And girl walked in looking pretty.
And that's when I knew. And I think
When you know, you know.
literally when you know, and And Taylor literally goes, in the blink of a crinkling eye. She's like, wait a minute. Everything has changed. She dusts off her highest hopes again.
Yeah.
She like
That's what we
it's
love about
so
her.
there's so much like TTPD. She's being put down, put down, put down, and she's like, let me blow them off. I'm trying again, and that's one of, again, what we love about Taylor so much is she's always been so willing to continue to try. Like even the prophecy of her at her lowest, she asks again for help and for like something to change. And it's so good. And it's so good. And she's like, the bridge, are you gonna marry, kiss, or kill me?
There we
I'm
go.
betting on it's just a game, but really I'm betting on all three. And what I love about that is that the kill me part of it all is she's like, you stress me out sometimes. Like she I think about there was a moment where she was at some Chiefs game and Travis got hit pretty hard and Taylor jumps up and she's shaking. She's
Yeah.
like, she's having a little shake. It's
That's so funny. But yeah, no, I think "Are you gonna marry, kiss, or kill me?" is such a cute line because,
you
right? Like, and you
know.
also have the "Oh my gosh, you kill me," right? That idea of like he makes her laugh
Exactly.
and like makes her, right? And yeah, we have so much joy and hope, but also like a certainty in here,
Hmm.
right? Like it's true, swear, Scout's honor. You knew what you wanted, and boy, you
And
got
boy,
her.
you got her.
Like,
Like I think this, and Taylor has said this, so I feel comfortable saying this because she's told us that she never had someone just outright be like, "I want you and I want to marry you."
yeah,
Like this
yeah.
is
Well,
like fully
maybe not
set
that second part,
intention,
but
not
that whole like, yeah, the I'm gonna
like
get
I
her.
want to love you.
Yeah,
I
and I'm gonna be
know who you
public
are.
about
I
it
see you.
as much as you want to be public, right? Because he's
Exactly. And
like,
I want to be loud about it.
no,
Like,
one
I'm
of
going
the
to get on my podcast and be like, hey, hey, hey,
no, one
date
of
me,
my
please.
favorite things about Travis, like obviously we were very excited about all the football games, but like when he was in Argentina and she comes out
Hmm.
after singing "Karma's the Guy in the Chiefs," and he just stands very respectfully with his hand behind his back, right? Like not gonna, right? Like like when they're like, "Oh, my dog is really friendly, but you can't," or "My cat is really friendly, but you can't touch them first. Like they have to come to you." It's very much
Hmm.
like, and then so he's just hand behind his back, like, "Hey, I'm chill. I'm just here," and then she
Let her set that pace.
runs and just flings herself onto him for that kiss, and then he like kisses her and like like also like turns her so she's like he kind of like not overshadows, like kind of covers her with his massive frame, and I was like, she's in
Hmm.
love. Like I don't like that's it. That's it.
Exactly. And it's like the way she's like, tell me about the first time you saw me. And it's so fun because we literally got to see the way her face changes when he was telling her again about how he saw her on stage and
Hmm.
knew that he just needed to know her.
And
Like,
yeah,
that's a
what
crazy thing to
the
say.
craziest meet cute of all time, right?
To be like, I just need to know you. And I wanted to know you so bad, I
I
had
just
to
want to
shout it
know
from the
you better
rooftops.
know, you better
Exactly.
know, you
And
better
she was like,
now.
she's like, oh my God, this dude is crazy. But if he's not like crazy, let me see, let me give it a chance because I've never had someone tell me from the jump. Like Taylor has always like spoken about like the cat and mouse
For
game
a
in her
month
songs.
or
They're
two or
like,
three.
exactly. Cat and mouse. Someone's playing coy with me, and they're playing like even the cat and mouse game of like moving rings to my ring finger. Like
Ooh.
she's always been played with, and then you have her being approached by someone who has like made his intentions very very clear. If we're gonna do this, we should do this forever. If we're gonna try this, let's try and make it forever, not just for the kids. And this is a direct quote, by the way. Um, of like that's such a crazy thing, and no wonder in so high school she said, I'm hearing voices like a madman. Like this is crazy. Like oh my God, the voices are like we're getting married, and you also hear the voices. You're the voice of here.
Yeah, and so looking forward, we are way
Yeah.
over an well, wait, we're over an hour. So we're as we wrap this up. I mean, Showgirl, as we know, was written during the second half of the Eras tour, so this is
Hmm.
pre-engagement. So likely will not have any, engagement songs. Sure there will
I
be
think we
love
will be
songs.
hearing them voices though, the
Yeah,
madman voices
and
of oh
and
we're gonna be
it'll be
together forever.
fascinating to see. Right, we've talked about right the Reputation, Lover, um, Folklore, Evermore, Midnight TTB. Like, what is her view on her life and her love in
Yeah.
this? Right, we're gonna
What
she's
I think is my idea, because she said life is more upbeat now. I do think we're getting that full throttle. like she says
Yes.
in So High School. Like she's like, oh, we're going fast. This is gonna happen.
Yeah. So this is
Anyway, congratulations, Taylor.
again. Please drop a lead single.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Also, for well, first of all, Hannah, what is our emoji?
ooh, gosh, is there? Do we do a car like for full throttle?
Ooh, maybe we should do a car.
We might have done a car before,
And
but
it's full throttle open road. You got it's so nice. Like it's open road. Before when Taylor has
do a
used like
open
car
road. Do a
metaphors.
road, some kind of road.
Ooh,
Do
yeah.
some kind of road. That
A
would be the
road,
best.
like she's just going. Like before, it's always like there's a brick wall looming when
Yeah,
she's going
no,
fast.
literally driving, loving him was like driving a new Maserati down a dead end street. You
Mm-hmm.
crashed my party and my rental car, like
Mm-hmm.
as I crashed into you, like so many wrecks do, too impaired by my youth know what to do. And now we're full throttle in his Rolls Royce with the stars on the roof.
Full throttle affectionate. Like we're going to the like to this. This is fully open road. It's not even illegal for us to be going this fast. Like when we're going this fast,
I love
and
that.
and I can fix him. You know, like this is like we're fine. We're on a racetrack. You're supposed to be going this fast. Um, Um, yeah, open road. But I just want to say, you guys are lovely, lovely listeners. I have fantastic news. I am going to be a professor.
She is.
Like, I
Congratulations. A
thank you,
tenure
Hannah.
track professor. Let's
Tenure
be
track.
specific.
So if we have any young listeners that are thinking about college,
Go to college.
then yeah, go to college if you want. Um, Send me a message. Come to my school. I'll let you know. Come apply to my school.
Yeah. You can
Tell
yap
them
about Taylor in office hours.
exactly. But I'm bringing this up one because I just wanted to share with y'all because now I'm literally Professor X, so
Get it?
I have some
Exquisite
validity behind
X.
my text. Yeah. Yeah. So I have some validity behind what I talk about, but also because I have a GoFundMe and that'll be linked somewhere
Yes, we'll
probably.
put it in the show notes
Yeah.
and we'll probably link to it on our Twitter.
Just to help with moving and starting because it starts in January and I just wanted to share that with y'all
Yeah.
because y'all listen to us
Yeah,
talk all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna be moving across states, and the school does help a little, but like it's not much, and it's gonna be like later. So we want our exquisite to start off on the right foot. Maybe we can, yeah, we'll be recording in like a new house for you, a
I
new
know,
place.
which is
It'll be
crazy.
insane. But dear listeners, we thank you so much. We love
Yes.
all of your comments.
I do love them so
Yeah,
much.
and we hope you liked kind of revisiting some of the things we talked about in our
Yeah.
previous episodes, especially these later albums. And we will see you very soon.
Yeah.
We'll try to get
Sorry
back on
this is
schedule.
late.
Sorry this is late, but so is Taylor in releasing the lead single. So you know what?
Literally, so it doesn't matter. Like it's fine.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.